गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we read this 22nd shloka in the last class, 22nd shloka of 7th Adhyaya. That is, Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktaha Tasyaha Radhanamihate Labhate cha Tatah Kaman Mayaiva Vihitan Hi Tan. So, we were just discussing as to how our Indian tradition has permitted, not recommended, it has permitted the worship of so many deities. It has not condemned, but it has pointed out. It has pointed out that the worship of so many forms of deities, the result is also limited. You have to ultimately go to the level of that nirguna Brahma. There are two levels which we discussed in the last class, that is the saguna level and the nirguna level. Saguna level is only a manifestation within the matrix of that Maya. That is a god with a form and attributes. He may have a form and he may be formless too. He may be formless, but then he is having some attributes. He is having some functions like Srushti, Sthiti, Laya and things like that, punishing the bad people and then rewarding the good people. So this is the Saguna Brahma. And then in this Saguna Brahma, many people in several places in the whole world, in many countries if we see, several people have visualized this so-called Saguna Brahma, or we say this form, deity with functions. In so many different ways they have conceived. But then Upanishads, they talk about this nirguna level. That nirguna level is that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava, pure Chaitanya, Chit and Sat, which has nothing to do with this creation also, and this creation is a manifestation. So at that level only Upanishads talk. In the whole world, the only religious text which talks about say Shuddha Chaitanyam or pure consciousness is only Upanishads. All other religions, they only talk about a god with functions. That is a sort of empirical god. So these empirical gods can be too many. In one area they may be worshipping Shiva, another area they may be worshipping Vishnu, another area somebody will be worshipping sun god. So in our own country we had so many places, in so many places people worshipping so many gods. And I was also mentioning in the last class about how Shankaracharya went around, studied so many schools of worship, and then he standardized some of them, brought many of them under the fold of the Upanishad. So we have got a network of religions or a complex of religions under the Upanishadic umbrella. So when there is also some accusation now and then even educated people say Hinduism is not a religion, Hinduism is only a dharma, we don't even have a religion. It is a very, very confusing statement and a dangerous statement. We should not say that. Hinduism allows so many forms of religions like Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Ganesha Puja, all these things. If you consider that Shiva is the only Lord, you are a Shaivite. You are also under the purview of that Upanishadic umbrella. So all these things, we have got a complex of religions under the Upanishadic umbrella. So that we have to see. So from that point of view, when we see, okay, we saw this 22nd shloka. From that point of view, if you see, even if you worship a smaller deity, what is it that you are going to get? The result, whatever it is, that is again within the network of that Maya, within the matrix, within the complex structure of that Maya only the result is coming. And that complex structure of Maya is again based on this Brahman only, on this Nirguna Brahma, the attributeless Brahma. So that is from that point of view, in the last shloka, Lord was saying, or at least from the Brahman's point of view, it was said that it is from that Nirguna Brahma only, that whatever results are coming as per the system which has manifested from that Brahman, as from the matrix or Maya which has manifested from that Brahman only, all this your phalitam you are getting. You may worship Shiva, get phalitam. You worship some snake mound, you will get phalitam. You worship Anjaneya, you will get phalitam. you worship some other god, you will get phalitam. So that is the phalitam means fruit, phalam rather, not phalitam, phalam. Okay. So then let us go to the next shloka. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedhasam devam devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. So there is a small avatarika to this line. What is this thing? Yasmat antavat sadhana vyaparaha avivekinaha. Oh, this is not avatarika, this is part of the bhashyam only. Okay, I will explain this shloka. Antavattu phalam tesham. In the last shloka, he was telling about the people who worship different types of gods. And then he said, it is I who am giving the result. For all those pujas, for all those types of worship, it is from the Supreme Brahman only this result is coming. Then, in this shloka is a continuation of that earlier shloka. This alpamedhasam, of those dull-witted people, this alpamedha, this word we have come across earlier also. Alpamedhasam, of those alpamedhasam tesham, of those dull-witted people. Then phalam antavat, that is the result which they get is antavat. It is having an end. Why? Because we are worshipping various smaller deities only, smaller forms, various smaller forms. All these forms, as I said, as we were discussing yesterday, they are all small manifestations within that consciousness only. There is some small chunk of consciousness manifesting as some Indra, some small chunk of consciousness manifest, that is a cosmic function which is manifesting as Agni, and another say cosmic function manifesting as Vishnu, Shiva, Rudra, etc., etc. So when these people, they give result, they can give result only what is in their purview only. If I am, suppose I am, a district level officer, let us say, I cannot sanction something which a state level officer can sanction. So only a state level officer can sanction maybe about 10 lakh rupees. I can sanction only 1 lakh rupees. So I have got some limited powers. So these lesser gods, it is something like that. They are the people with limited powers. And then suppose you go to some loka, Swarga loka, you worship Indra, you do some yajna, and then you go to worship Swarga loka. Then what is the finality of Swarga loka? You will be there as long as your punyam lasts. And the moment your punyam is over, they will honorably send you back. If you insist, they will dishonorably send you back. So that is the Siddhanta. So that is why it is antavat. Tesham phalam, their fruit, whatever fruit they get or whatever benefit they get is antavat. Antavat means that which is having an end. Antavat, that which is having an end. That is a very limited, finite. So that is the meaning. Then Devan Devayajaha Yanti. Devayajaha, that is those who worship deities. Devayajaha. Devan Yajanti iti Devayajaha. So Devayajaha, what will happen to them? Te Devan Yanti. They attain those god forms or they attain those lokas. Suppose Indra, you go to Indra loka. So you worship some other deity, you go to that deity's loka. Not as loka, again and again we have to remind ourselves that there are no three-dimensional places in the space. It is that particular, you are associating certain qualities with a particular deity. So when you are worshipping that deity, you are going to that state of consciousness. That is how we have to understand a loka. You are attaining that particular state of consciousness. So that is what is a loka. Devan Devayajaha Yanti. Then Madbhaktaha Yanti Mamapi. Madbhaktaha. Mat, here Mat refers to the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Nirguna Brahman. Madbhaktaha. Those, here there is no bhakti, but here bhakta it is used in a slightly figurative sense. Here we have to say, those who follow me, those who do that Shravana Manana Nididhyasana about me. So those people, they attain even me. Mam api. Mam api means even me. Even me they will attain. So that means not only they are in the right path, they will attain me. That means Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. So they will reach that stage where they become Brahman themselves. So that is the meaning here. Because even in the Devan, that is totally in contrast to what happens to those who are worshipping different gods. Because all these god forms, even in this Kathopanishad Bhashya we were seeing, very luckily, this Bhashyam and that Bhashyam, they are almost coinciding. So we are reading a passage in Kathopanishad Bhashya. Yesterday I think we saw where Shankaracharya was saying that all these god forms, they are just manifestations within that Hiranyagarbha framework. Within that Maya, you call it Maya or Aditi or Hiranyagarbha, because only one consciousness which is appearing with so many names. So, and we can't draw a fine distinction between what is Hiranyagarbha and what is say Aditi, and all these very fine logic we cannot apply in all these transcendental matters, because there is only one consciousness which is appearing as so many. So that is what we saw. And whatever god form you worship is only an appearance within that consciousness. So that is why these people, Devan Devayajaha Yanti. Yanti means they attain. Then Madbhaktaha Yanti Mamapi. They attain even me. So that is it. Is the shloka clear?
Yes.
So this even me means that is at that level. The maturity of a jnani. Here we are referring to a particular a jnani. And the earlier people, they are all people who are worshipping lesser gods. So that is the meaning. Then Yasmat Antavat sadhana vyaparaha Avivekinaha Kaminaschate Ataha Antavat Vinashitu Phalam Tesham Tad Bhavati Alpamedhasam Alpaprajnanam. So Alpamedha is a person with very limited mind, which means not a petty mind, dull-witted. Petty mind is something different and dull-wit is different. So these are all dull-witted people. So these people say they have their sadhana and their activity. Antavat sadhana vyaparaha. Sadhana means. Vyapara means activity. Sadhana and vyapara means, so this fellow thinks, he reads some say Purana or something like that. So he will say, okay, I will do this particular yajnam, and by doing this particular yajna, I will attain this particular loka. So he will take that yajna as a sadhana. Sadhanam here means a tool, does not mean a physical tool, a type of ritual for attaining a particular say god form. So some type of ritual. So you do this particular yajna, whether you have to do, there will be a big dilemma or say fight, whether Chandi Yagam is superior or Sudarshana Yagam is superior. So something like that. It is an example. Somebody says, no, Chandi Yagam is superior. Another man will say, Sudarshana Yagam is superior. But Vedanta says, both are one and the same. You are only attaining some limited result. So long as you think, so long as you are visualizing a limited deity, your result will also be limited. So long as you come out of that limitedness, then you will reach that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma level. So this is what Vedanta says. Whatever say sadhana and sadhana, whatever vyapara means activity. Vyapriyate asminniti vyaparaha. That is, a person gets engaged in that vyapriyate. So that is why it is called vyapara. Vyapara does not mean business. So amtavat sadhana vyaparaha vivekinaha. These alpamedhasaha. So these people are kaminaschate. Kaminaha means they have so many ambitions, they have got so many desires, they have got so many wishes to be fulfilled. All this wish fulfillment is very much there. So that is why they have got so many sadhanas and so many vyaparas. So they go to this Somayaji, that Somayaji, and then they will say which is the best yajna, which will give me greatest fruit. So that is what we see in all these vrata kathas we see. You tell me one very big vratam so that I can get back my lost empire. So Dharmaraja asks. So like that. So all these stories we find in vratas. There are so many vratas which we perform. So at the end of the vrata there is a story. So in that story somebody will ask somebody else. So some Sota Pauranika, he will tell somebody else, in olden days so and so has performed this vratam and they got very good results, you also do this. So these are all told for all these Puranas are told for basically ordinary people in order to maintain some social order. Otherwise ordinary people, they are not going to understand Vedas, they are not going to understand the Upanishads. So they have to be told something. After all, religion is a basic human need, isn't it? If you don't give them religion, what will they do? They will become irreligious, and then there will be social disorder. So, from the point of view of maintaining social order, what Lord Krishna calls Loka Sangraha here. So that for the maintenance of Loka Sangraha, so all these Puranas etc. have been given by the same Rishis who have written the Vedas. Okay. Avivekinaha kaminaschate. Ataha, we read this. Ataha antavat vinashitu phalam tesham. So their phalam, whatever fruit they get, is vinashi. That is, it disappears after some time. Vinashi, nashi adarshane, it disappears after some time. The antavat phalam tesham tad bhavati. It becomes like that. And who are the alpa medhasam, alpa prajnanam? These are all the dull-witted people. Then devan, devayajo yanti, devan yajantiti devayajaha, te devan yanti, madbhakta yanti mamapi. So he is just explaining the words. What is devayaja? What is devayajaha? Devan yajanti iti devayajaha. This is a plural word. Devayajaha is not a singular word like Ramaha. Devayajaha is a plural word. Devan yajanti. So these are the people who do yajna for various deities. Then they attain. Yanti means attain. Devan. They attain those devalokas. Then madbhaktaha yanti mamapi. My bhaktas are those who follow me, or those who try to understand me, those who try to realize me by this hard process called Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Because doing this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana is much harder than going to a temple or performing some puja. So that is exactly why nobody wants to read Gita. Nobody wants to learn Sanskrit. Nobody wants to read Bhashyam. Nobody wants to do Shravana Manana or Nididhyasana. But people are very happy to donate some money. People are very happy to go to some temple and then organize some yajna. So these are the things which people they do. It is very easier because you need not do anything. What all you have to do is to wear some silk dhoti, sit with your wife and then do some puja, give some dakshina to that Brahmin who recites the mantras. That is much easier, and get rid of it and then back to your activity. so that is much easier. Nobody has the patience to sit for 1 hour a day and then read either Sanskrit or learn Gita or anything. So that is the fact of life. So that is why he says, but of course Shankaracharya is telling a slightly different way. Let us read this, what Shankaracharya is saying. Evam samane pyayase mameva na pratipadyante ananta phalaya aho khalu kashtam vartante ityanukrosham darshayati Bhagavan. So Lord Krishna is saying, evam samane pyayase. This ayasa means tiresomeness, exertion. So this exertion or tiresomeness is or rather effort. So the effort in both is one and the same. This ayasa actually not even effort. Effort is prayatna. Exertion is a better word. Exertion, tiresomeness. So while doing some yajna also you get tired. While doing Shravana Manana Nididhyasana you get tired. So this tiresomeness is equal in both ways. That is what Shankaracharya says. But of course, what we find is people, they find it much easier to do that yajna than read a book. So if you read a book, if you give a book to someone, the fellow will not read at all. If you ask him to do some puja, he can happily do. So anyway, let us follow Shankaracharya now. Shankaracharya says, evam samane pyayase. Though this tiresomeness or exertion is almost is equal in both the things, mameva na pratipadyante ananta phalaya. Why don't these fellows, they read a book? Why don't they go to a teacher and then do this Shravana Manana Nididhyasana? Mameva na pratipadyante. Why don't they follow me? Why don't they follow this nirguna Brahma? There are two paths which are shown here. There is a saguna path which is a limited Brahma. Nirguna path which is that infinite Brahma. So why don't they start thinking about this nirguna Brahma which is their own self? So that is the thing. Why are they having that bheda drushti, that feeling of duality, difference, perception of difference between God and Him? When I say that you are God, you are not believing and then you still want to touch my feet and all that. So that is why he may say, Anukrosham darshayati Bhagavan. Aho khalu kashtam vartante. What sort of difficulties these fellows are facing? Khalu kashtam vartante. So these people, poor fellows, they are unnecessarily getting, say, round and round, moving round and round in this samsara chakra, and then kashtam vartante, they are facing so many difficulties. Iti anukrosham darshayati. The Lord is actually expressing his anguish and compassion and say sympathy. This is a mixture of anguish and sympathy. It is not alone anguish, not alone sympathy. It is a anukrosham. It's something between sympathy and anguish, both. Darshayati Bhagavan. Then kim nimittam mameva na prapadyate.
Mameva na prapadyate.
Prapadyante should be my book. This dot is missing. Mameva na prapadyante ityuchyate. Okay. Why don't they follow me, or why don't they try to understand me? So iti uchyate. Then the reason is being told. Let us read this shloka. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah ya param bhavam ajanantah mama vyayam anuttamam. So here Lord Krishna is saying avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah. Abuddhayah is the same as alpamedhasa. That is those people with very, very feeble mind, feeble intellect, let us say, feeble intellect. People with this feeble intellect, what do they think? They are very, very happy, they are very content at the saguna level. That is what he is saying. They are very content at that level only. So that's because my bhavam is, my real nature is, say that mama avyayam anuttamam. The second line says mama avyayam anuttamam bhavam ajanantah. So they are not able to understand, they are not able to know my real nature. That is the real nature of divinity. What is that divinity? Avyayam anuttamam. Avyayam is something which is undiminishing. Anuttamam means unsurpassed. There is nothing beyond that. Anuttamam, I explained that word. Uttamam yasmat nasti tad anuttamam. There is nothing better than that. There is nothing beyond that. Anuttamam should not be taken as opposite to uttamam, because that na pratyaya, it may give us to a mistaken impression that anuttamam means it is opposite of uttamam. It is not like that. Na vidyate uttamam yasmat. You can write down if you have not written. Na vidyate uttamam yasmat. Na vidyate uttamam yasmat iti anuttamam. So beyond that there is nothing more. There is nothing better which is better than that. So that is the meaning of anuttamam. Unsurpassable or unparalleled, let us say. So my nature is that. So that avyayam avyaktam. The first line says avyaktam. Avyaktam, we know what is avyaktam? That unmanifest, which is just not known. That is nirguna Brahma. That nirguna status. Vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayah. These abuddhayah, these ignorant people, they are not able to visualize that nirguna thing. And then they only think of this vyaktim apannam. That is one who has assumed a form, one who has taken a form, one who is an embodied vyakti. Vyakti, we know, vyakti means a person. Vyaktim apannam means one who is appearing as a vyakti, one who has become a vyakti, one who has taken up a form, one who is embodied. So that sort of thing. So embodied or manifested as a saguna form. So that form only people are happy, people are content with that, and then they are not thinking about that nirguna aspect of me. So that is the meaning. So avyaktam, vyaktim apannam manyante mam, me, abuddhayah, ignorant people, vyaktim apannam manyante. So they think that I am only this form. They are only thinking about a God with a form, with attributes, with some boon, capable of giving some boons and all these things, capable of destroying your enemy. They will give you some boons, they will also destroy your enemies. So they are only thinking at that level. Then they parambhavam ajanantaha mama. The second line anvaya is like this: mama avyayam anuttamam parambhavam ajanantaha. So not knowing my supreme nature, the which is avyayam and anuttamam. That is, which is undiminishing and unsurpassable real nature, they are not able to know, and then they are only happy with some sort of God form with some attributes. So that is the meaning here. Is the shloka clear?
Yes, sir.
Words are also simple.
Yeah.
Avyaktam, vyaktim, apannam, manyante, mam, abuddhayah. Because this sat and chit are the things which have no form. But unfortunately, that nirguna level, these are not able to comprehend. They are only thinking about a form. Then let us read the second line also. Param bhavam ajanantaha mama avyayam anuttamam. Let us read the bhashyam. Avyaktam aprakasham
Avyaktam aprakasham
vyaktimapannam prakasham gatam idanim
Vyaktimapannam prakasham gatam idanim
manyante mam
Manyante mam
nitya prasiddham ishwaramapi
Nitya prasiddham
ishwaramapi santam
Ishwaramapi santam
abuddhayaha avivekinah
Abuddhayaha avivekinah
param bhavam paramatma swarupam
Param bhavam paramatma swarupam
ajanantaha avivekinah
Ajanantaha avivekinah
mama avyayam vyayarahitam
Mama avyayam vyayarahitam
anuttamam niratishayam
Anuttamam niratishayam
madiyam bhavam ajanantaha
Madiyam bhavam ajanantaha
manyante ityarthaha.
Manyante ityarthaha.
So in one sentence Shankaracharya has finished, because this is also a simple shloka. Avyaktam. Avyaktam aprakasham. Aprakasham means not revealed, not manifest. Avyakta is not manifest, not revealed, not known, because he is known only to a Uttamadhikari. He is not known to all the people. He is only known to, the Brahman is only known to those who make use of their mind. Those who only make use of their body through the process of a yajna, he is not known. It is only when you do some shravana, manana and nididhyasana, you have to heat up your mind. Only when you heat up your mind, then that fire is ignited. Like Nachiketa says, so that Nachiketa Agni is ignited, and then you will be able to realize that Shuddha Chaitanya. So if you want to realize that Shuddha Chaitanya, you should be a Uttamadhikari, that is a first level student. So that first grade student only will realize. Avyaktam aprakasham vyaktimapannam prakasham gatam idanim. And now it is now looking as though it is manifest. Some nirguna Brahma, it is just, now looking as though it is manifest. Idanim means now. Earlier it was unmanifest, now it is manifesting. Idanim Vyaktimapannam. Now it is appearing as a form. Vyaktimapannam. Manyante mam. They think of me. Mam, manyante means they think of me like that. Who? This abuddhayaha. Anyway, nitya prasiddham ishwaramapi santam. Though I am that nitya prasiddha ishwara. Nitya prasiddha means nitya. Nitya means eternal. Prasiddha, very, very well known. All the Shastras are proclaiming that there is what is called some Shuddha Chaitanyam, that Nitya Chaitanyam. So all, in spite of the proclamation by all these Shastras, Nitya Prasiddham Ishwaram api. Ishwaram is one who lords over, one who is above all. Ishwaram api santam abuddhayaha avivekinaha. These avivekinaha, those people who have no sense of discrimination. Aviveki is people who do not have discrimination. Then param bhavam paramatma swarupam. So param bhavam is, param, we know the word, param is supreme. Param bhavam paramatma swarupam. That is the real nature, the real essence of that nirguna Brahma. Ajanantaha, unknowing people. Then avivekinaha, those people without discrimination. Then mama avyayam vyayarahitam. Avyayam explained that word. Vyayarahitam. Anuttamam niratishayam. Atishaya means, Atishaya is a state of comparison where something is Atishaya, one who excels another, that sort of comparison. Niratishayam is where there is no comparison, beyond comparison. That is unsurpassable. Anuttamam madiyam bhavam ajanantaha manyante ityarthaha. So people think of me like that. So that is what is this shloka. So the people. Then of course Madhusudana Saraswati writes one more line. Karya rupatam matsya kurmadhyaneka avatara rupena praptamitiva. So he also says avyaktam vyaktimapannam. He gives the meaning So they are more happy to think of me as some Leela Vigraha Parigraha. That is, I have taken up some form, some Leela Vigraha. All these avatars we have studied about avatars in the 4th chapter. What is that? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tada atmanam srujamyaham. In that line, we studied the concept of avatara. What is our concept of avatara? It doesn't mean that Hiranyagarbha, Supreme Brahman, really comes down here and there is some vacuum in heaven. It's not like that. So this avatara is a sort of appearance of that Supreme Consciousness only for a particular function. Whenever there is ascendance of adharma, ascendance of disorder in society, and then there is a suppression of say good in society. So in order to restore good and in order to suppress evil, the divine form manifests in a particular way. So that is what is avatara. Avatara is the manifestation of a divine form for a particular social function. So that is what we saw in that 4th chapter. So our Madhusudana Saraswati is actually referring to that avatara, Leela Vigraha Sangraha, and also Matsya Kurma Varega Aneka the Avatara Rupena Praptamiti. So that is what he was saying. In that way also we can understand. So people are happy to worship these avatars because through these avatars they feel that they can realize their wishes. So that is the meaning. Then Tadiyam Ajnanam Kim Nimittamit Yuchyate. Why is that ignorance? Tadiyam Ajnanam. That is the ignorance relating to that Tat, ignorance relating to that Brahman. Tadiyam is belonging to that. That Ajnanam relating to that. Kim Nimittam, why? What is the reason? Ityuchyate, it is being told. Let us read this shloka. Naham prakashas sarvasya yogamaya samavrutaha mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mam ajamavyayam. Okay, Naham prakashah sarvasya. That is, here he is saying, he is again telling about the concept of Maya. This concept of Maya we have come across even earlier in Gita. Here again he is saying, I am not evident, I am not revealed to all the people because I am enveloped by Maya. That is the first line. Na aham prakashah sarvasya. Na aham sarvasya prakashah. I am not evident, I am not seen, I am not manifest, I am not revealed to all. Then why? Yoga Maya Samavrutaha. Yoga Maya, of course Shankaracharya is going to explain what is Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya Samavrutaha. Avrutaha means that which is covered. Avruta, Avaranam. Avaranam is coverage, covering. Avrutaha is one who is covered. Covered by what? Covered by Yoga Mala. In fact, in Vedas, we also have this story of Indra and Vrutrasura. Vrutrasura is, what is this Vrutra? Vrutrasura is the same person, Avaranam, Avrunoti, Avrunoti iti Vrutraha. So there again, Samavrutaha. That is, Vrutrasura is that Maya. Vrutrasura is that ignorance, Ajnana. Devendra is a person who is striving for Jnana. So Deva and Vrutrasura, that is Ajnanam, removal of Ajnanam is that Vrutrasura Samhara. So there's some symbolism is told like that in the Puranas. Those Puran, it is not, it is also in the Vedas, it is a Puranic story too. So Vrutra is that ignorance, Ajnana. So Yogamaya Samavrutaha, Yogamaya we'll see in the Bhashyam, Shankaracharya is explaining that word. Then the second line here is Mudhaha ayam na abhijanati lokaha mam ajam avyayam. Ayam mudhaha lokaha. This foolish loka, this foolish world. Lokaha reference to all the people in general. This foolish world, lokaha, this foolish world. Mudhaha ayam lokaha. Mam na abhijanati. Mam ajam avyayam. Mam ajam. Aja is one who has no birth at all. Rama, Krishna and then various other god forms, they do have some birth, isn't it? Whereas this nirguna Brahma is something which is Shuddha Chaitanya. Chaitanya has no birth, it is eternal, it is always there. So ajam, avyayam, that which is undiminishing. So that ajam, avyayam, bhavam, say na abhijanati. So these people, they do not recognize this loka, this foolish world does not recognize my real nature. So that is the meaning. Second line is mudhaha ayam lokaha. This ayam mudhaha lokaha, this foolish world, na abhijanati, does not recognize mam, me. Then what is my nature? Ajam avyayam, that is unborn, and then avyaya, undiminishing, unperishing. So that is the thing. Is the shloka clear?
Yes.
Okay. Naham iti.
Naham iti.
Naham prakashaha.
Naham prakashaha.
Sarvasya lokasya.
Sarvasya lokasya.
Kesham chideva.
Kesham chideva.
Madbhaktanam.
Madbhaktanam.
Prakashaha aham ityabhiprayaha.
Prakashaha aham ityabhiprayaha.
Okay. So, naham prakashaha sarvasya lokasya. For all these people, I am not evident. That is what he said. That is, Then, kesham chideva madbhaktanam. For some people only who are devoted to me. Bhaktanam, we should not think of the bhakta doing some bhajana and all that. We should think of jnanis, those who are actually devoted to this nirguna form. Madbhaktanam prakashaha aham ityabhiprayaha. I am revealed. So it does not mean that when you say that Maya is something which is covering Brahman, then what do you normally think? Suppose I say some power is enveloping somebody else. Then who is more powerful? Is the enveloping power more powerful or the person who is say enveloped? In the normal course, suppose this blanket which is covering that man is more powerful than the person himself, isn't it? Or the power which is enveloping a person is more powerful. But why is this said like that? So we have to realize that this Maya is something, though it is under the control of Brahman only, it is only a manifestation in that Brahman, and it is only a way of saying Loka Drushtya. The commentators have said Maya is, we should not understand that Maya is more powerful because Maya is enveloping Brahman. It is only, these words are said only Loka Drushtya. Loka Drushtya means from our point of view. In order to see, to ensure that we properly understand what is the nature of Maya, it is told like this. But Maya is not something which is really enveloping, say, the Brahman. From our point of view, it is said, because from like we say, the sun is totally covered by clouds. Sun is never covered by clouds. Sun is never totally, say, enveloped by clouds. We say, from our point of view, we say, okay, sun is enveloped by clouds, but sun is something which is much, much, much beyond. So, from that point of view, it is said like this. Then, Keshanchideva madbhaktanam prakashaha aham ityabhiprayaha. Then, yoga maya samavrutaha.
Yoga maya samavrutaha.
Yogaha gunanam yuktihi ghatanam.
Yogaha gunanam yuktihi ghatanam.
Saiva maya yoga maya.
Saiva maya yoga maya.
Taya yoga mayaya.
Taya yoga maya.
Samavrutaha sanchannaha ityarthaha.
Samavrutaha sanchannaha ityarthaha.
Atayeva mudhaha lokaha.
Atayeva mudhaha lokaha.
Ayam. Na abhijanati mam ajam avyayam.
Na abhijanati mam ajam avyayam. So
yoga maya is being explained here. Yoga maya, yogaha. We know the word yoga. Yoga means from the dhatu yuj, to combine, to yoke. That is, this is a combination. What is the combination? The combination of what? Combination of these three gunas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. Yogaha gunanam yuktihi. Yukti again is combination, not strategy. Yukti, it also means logic in a different context. But here in this context, yukti means combination, not logic. So, gunanam yuktihi. Guna, the coming together of yukti here means the coming together of these three gunas. Because these three gunas, the coming together is called yoga. And that itself is a maya, saiva maya. Saiva maya means sa eva maya. That is, that coming together of these three gunas itself is that it is something like a blanket or a shroud which is covering Brahman. Yoga maya. Taya yoga mayaya samavrutaha samchannaha ityarthaha. That is, with that yoga maya, he is samchanna. Because of these three gunas are producing so many effects on us, and we are also the products of the same three gunas. And then because we are part and parcel of the three gunas, we are not able to easily get over these three gunas, and then we are not able to see that Brahman. Suppose there is a cloud which is formed. So you are part and parcel of that cloud. You are also part and parcel of that cloud. You are formed by that cloud itself. So you are not able to see that sun. So it is like that. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas are responsible for all of us. And these are actually giving rise to so many things like raga, dvesha and all these things. And because of this raga, dvesha, you are liking the something, you are disliking something, and then you are eternally perceiving duality. So when you are eternally perceiving duality, then unless there is some shastra, unless there is some teacher, unless something happens in your mind, you will not be able to get rid of all these things, and then you will not become gunatita. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhava Arjuna. We read an earlier sloka. This loka is Traigunyam. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. All the Vedas, they also talk about this Traigunya, samsara. Nistraigunyo Bhava. You go beyond these three gunas. That's what Lord Krishna was saying. So like that, unless we go beyond these three gunas, we will not be able to know the real nature of the Brahman. So, yuktihi ghatanam saiva maya yoga maya taya yoga maya samavrutaha. Avrutaha, that is covered, enveloped. Then atayeva mudha lokaha ayam. This mudha loka, this foolish world, the very world is created like that. So that is what he is going to say in the next shloka. By birth, you are born with that ajnana. It is a congenital ajnana. It is a congenital ignorance. So that is it. Ayam na abhijanati mam ajam avyayam. So mam ajam avyayam, I explained those words. The loka is not able to understand. Then yaya yogamayaya.
Yaya yogamayaya.
Yeah, this is avatarika. Yaya yogamayaya samavrutam mam.
Yaya yogamaya samavrutam mam.
Lokaha na abhijanati.
Lokaha na abhijanati.
Nasau yogamaya.
Naso yogamaya.
Madiyya sati.
Madiyya sati.
Mama ishwarasya mayavinaha.
Mama ishwarasya mayavinaha.
Jnanam pratibadhnati.
Jnanam pratibadhnati.
Yatha anyasyapi mayavino yatha.
Yatha anyasyapi mayavino maya.
Jnanam tadvat.
Jnanam tadvat.
Okay, you take the example of a magician. This magician comes and then displays some magic in front of you. That magic is only enveloping the audience. That magic is not enveloping the magician himself. So like that, yatha anyasyapi maya vinaha maya. So suppose you take the example of a magician. Magician himself is not getting, say, influenced by that maya. So it is like he himself is not getting hypnotized. A hypnotizer psychologist comes and he himself is not getting hypnotized. So like that. So yaya yogamaya samavrutam lokam, samavrutam mam, lokaha na abhijanati. So this particular maya, which because of which loka, because of this world is not able to recognize me, that yoga maya madiyya sati, that is because it is mine. Madiyya sati means because it is mine. Mama ishwarasya maya vinaha jnanam na pratibadhnati. It is not going to obstruct, it is not going to impede my jnanam. This my Brahma jnanam, it is not, the maya is not going to impede or affect or say obstruct this Brahma jnanam. So na mama jnanam pratibadhnati yatha anyasyapi maya vinaha. Just as in the case of another magician whose magic is not going to say envelop him. So likewise, my maya is not going to affect my own jnanam. So that is the meaning here. The sentence is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yaya yogamaya means by which yogamaya samavrutam mam lokaha na abhijanati. This loka is not able to understand me. Na asau yogamaya madiyya sati. This yogamaya being mine own, that being mine own. Mama ishwarasya jnanam na pratibadhanati. This na has to be applied here. Mama ishwarasya jnanam na pratibadhanati. So it is not going to obstruct my jnanam. So just as in the case of another magician. Yata eva matah,
यत एव मतः
because of this, Veda ahamiti.
वेद अहमिति.
Let us read this sloka. Vedaham samatitani
वेदाहं समतीतानि
vartamanani cha Arjuna
वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
bhavishyani cha bhutani
भविष्याणि च भूतानि
mam tu vedana kaschana.
मां तु वेद न कश्चन.
So this is basically to explain that this Maya is not something which is going to obstruct the Brahman himself or itself. So Maya is something which is only a power of Brahman, and it is not going to delude Brahma, because Brahma is something which is beyond time, beyond Maya. So that is why he is saying Veda aham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, aham, that Supreme Brahman, aham samatitani vartamanani cha Veda. I know whatever has been past, whatever is past, samatitani, all those things which have passed. Atita and Anantara we know, Atita Kalam, Anantara Kalam. Samatita, Samyak Atitam, that which is gone by, which has gone by. Then Vartamanani, that which is happening now. Then Bhavishyani cha, those which are going to occur in future, all those which are going to occur in future. Cha, Bhutani, Mam tu Veda na Kaschana. Na Kaschana, Mam Veda, that is nobody can know me. Nobody can know me means it is not totally precluding. That we are going to see in the next shloka. Jnani is not precluded. Ordinary man is mentioned here. An ordinary man is mentioned here. Mam tu Vedana Kaschana means it is referring to an ordinary man. Then what is it we are seeing here? That he is referring to himself as somebody who is beyond this, say, the concept of time. Kala Parichinna. We know that there are what is called Desha Parichinna, Kala Parichinna, Vastu Parichinna. Desha Parichinna is the three types of Parichinna, three types of delimitedness we know. What is this Desha Parichinna means? If I am here, I am not in my house right now. I am not all pervading. So this Brahman is something which is all pervading. So there is no Desha Parichinnatva. It is here and it is not there. That sort of Desha Parichinnatva is not there. Then Kala Parichinna. If I am here in this 21st century, I will not be certainly there in 22nd century. So like that, but then this is Brahman or Chaitanya is something which has always been there, which will always be there. It is Kala Parichinna, it is not Kala Parichinna. Vastu Parichinna. Vastu Parichinna means I am also delimited by being what I am. So I am so and so, I cannot be you. So this is Vastu Parichinnatva. But then in the case of consciousness or Shuddha Brahma, what do we find there? That is, every Vastu is only a manifestation in that. What all you see is only a manifestation in that, isn't it? So that is why all these types of Parichinnatva are not there, and Kalam itself is only a manifestation in that matrix of Maya. So in Shuddha Chaitanya there is no concept of Vishaya Jnanam. It is only when there is an ego and when there is Vishaya Jnanam. The first manifestation of ego is, as I said, Hiranyagarbha. In that the Upanishad we discussed. Hiranyagarbha, that first chunk of consciousness which feels, oh yes, I, that feeling of I. Then that is from that time starts. Hiranyagarbha, the moment he feels that I, the time starts. Then he starts doing some creation. Then something happens, Akasha, Vayu, all these things emerge, and then all these things emerge, and then there are so many events which are happening in time. So when there is no I, there is no event. I means capital I, not EYE. So when there is no feeling of self, there is no perceiver, there is no event. Event is there only when there is a perceiver. So that is the reason why Lord Krishna is saying, Aham samatitani vartamani cha Arjuna. I am beyond the concept of time. So that is what is mentioned here. Then let us, I think we finished the Bhashyam also, isn't it? Or we have to read it. Okay. Where is it? Atayeva mataha. Okay. Aham tu Veda jane samatitani samatikrantani bhutani. Have you seen that?
Yes.
You got it. Okay. भूतानि तथा वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
तत वर्तमानानि च अर्जुन
भविष्याणि च भूतानि
भविष्याणि च भूतानि
वेद अहम्
वेद अहम्
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मद्भक्तं मच्छरणम् एकं मुक्त्वा
मद्भक्तं मच्छरणम् एकं मुक्त्वा
so okay aham tu veda jane I know all the things, that is all these things they are within the knowledge of Brahman, within that consciousness or awareness of Brahman only. Samatitani, samatikrantani, all those things which have gone by. Samatikrantani, bhutani, bhutani means past tense, bhuta is not beings here. Samatikrantani vishayaha, samatikrantaha vishayaha, all the beings. Tatha vartamanani cha, all those things which are happening now. Tatha bhavishyani cha bhutani veda aham. Aham veda means I know. Then mam tu veda na kashana. I cannot be known by anybody except mad bhaktam mad sharanam ekam muktva. Muktva means excluding my bhakta mad sharana. Excluding my bhakta. Bhakta means the person who is devoted to knowledge. Mat sharanaha. Mat sharanaha means one who is having me as that supreme goal. One who is say Sharanu, we know Sharanu in ordinary sense means surrender. One who has surrendered to me means one who is in this Nishtha only. One who is in the Nishtha for supreme self, the supreme being. So much Sharanam ekam muktva. Muktva is excluding. Then mat tattva vedana bhavadeva
मत् तत्व वेदना भावादेव
na mam bhajate.
न मां भजते
Okay, mat tattva vedana abhavadeva. So he is also giving that hint very clearly. Mat tattva, my real nature. Tattva is real nature. Mat tattva is my real nature. Vedana means understanding. Vedana does not mean suffering. With from the dhatu, with the dhatu means understanding, knowledge, isn't it? Veda, the word Veda also comes from that. Vedana is understanding. Mat tattva vedana abhavena. Abhava means absence. In the absence of knowledge of my real nature. So that is the overall meaning of that phrase. In the absence of knowledge of my real nature. Mat tattva vedana bhavena na mam bhajate. Suppose he knows my real nature, then he will follow me. Suppose you know what is the supreme thing, you will follow what is supreme. Nobody has told you that there is something called Gita. Nobody has told you that there is something called Nirguna Brahma. Nobody has told you. You are only made to follow that queue, and then you are in that queue, and then you are doing that ritual. So that in a way it also means that mat tattva vedana bhavena. In the absence of knowledge of my real nature, people are not worshipping me. Maybe if there is somebody to tell them, some shastra or some teacher who is going to tell them, they will follow me. So that is it. Okay. Kena punaha tvat tattva vedana pratibandhena pratibadhani santi jayamanani sarvabhutani tvam na vidanti ityapekshayam idamaha. So he is putting a small question, this is small avatarika. Kena punaha tvat tattva vedana pratibandhena. So what is it that is an obstacle for knowing your real nature? Tvat tattva vedana pratibandha. Pratibandha is an obstacle. Tvat tattva, your real nature. Tvat tattva vedana, understanding. What is that obstacle in understanding your real nature? So that is the meaning here. What is it? Kena punaha. What kena punaha means by what? By what? Pratibandhena. What is that pratibandha, or what is that obstacle which is obstructing the knowledge of your real nature? Then pratibadhani santi. Pratibadhani santi means all the people they stand obstructed. All the people they stand impeded or obstructed. Pratibadhani santi. Who jayamanani sarvabhutani tvam na vidanti. Jayamanani sarvabhutani. All these beings which are being born, all these people, all these creatures which are being born. Jayamanani means the present continuous tense. That is, which are being born. Jayamanani sarvabhutani, all the beings, all these creatures, tvam na vidanti, they are not knowing me. Tvam, you, na vidanti means they do not know you. Then ityapekshayam, no, we read it, ityapekshayam, that is, when regarding that, with reference to that, ityapekshayam is, on that question, it is said like this. On that question, it is said like this, Ichchadvesha samuthena. Let us read this shloka. Ichchadvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. So this parantapa is the address. Parantapa is paran tapayati iti parantapaha, one who vanquishes his enemies, or one who vanquishes all these raga, dvesha, etc., etc. So two meanings are given. Then he parantapa. Then what is it? What is the obstacle? Dvandva moha is the obstacle. That is dvandva moha. We know what is dvandva. Dvandva is duality. Moha is delusion. Dvandva moha is the delusion created by duality. Dvandva moha. Dvandva moha is a word. Dvandva mohena is tritiya vibhakti. Dvandva moha is a delusion created by duality, or the perception of duality, let us say, or bheda drushti, you can also feel like that. Bheda drushti, the perception of duality, perception of difference, that is it. So this perception of difference is giving rise to this iccha and dvesha. So when it comes to, when we talk about this Maya, Vedanta talks about two Shaktis, two types of powers which Maya has. One is a power to envelop, that is, it conceals what is there and reveals what is not there. Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Avarana is concealing the truth. Vikshepa is showing it in a different way. So it is like seeing the sun through a cloud, and then maybe too many say images are there. You see something else, you see some other say some rainbow type of thing, and you see so many other things which are not there actually. So Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti are the two types of two Shakti, or two powers which we talk of in Vedanta. So here in the earlier mantra we talked about the Avarana Shakti. What is that? Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrutaha. So there Avarana Shakti was told, Loka Drushtya again. It is not as though that Maya is really enveloping. From our point of view it is said it is like that. Then Vikshepa Shakti, because we are seeing so much of diversity. We are seeing so much of diversity, we are unable to see the real nature. So the real nature is concealed and something else is shown. That is the Vikshepa Shakti is mentioned here. So, and because of that Vikshepa Shakti, you are seeing this duality, this diversity. And this diversity is giving rise to this Nama Rupa Vishesha Jnanam, as one commentator says. This Nama Rupa Vishesha Jnanam we are getting, but not Swarupa Jnanam. We know these two words, Swarupa Jnanam and Vritti Jnanam. Swarupa Jnanam is that state of pure awareness, so which is not concerned with this Vritti. Vritti Jnanam is something which takes place in a buddhi, which takes place in, it may be buddhi of Hiranyagarbha, it may be buddhi of a human being, it may be buddhi of an elephant or a tiger, whatever it is. This is a Vritti Jnanam. So when I see an object, my mind takes the shape of an object, and the moment that takes the shape of an object, it either likes it or dislikes it. I have some sort of predisposition towards that. Over a period of time, my attitude to these things and my interaction with these things, they create a sort of samskara in me, and this samskara manifests in the form of a predisposition. So all these things happen, isn't it? So these Ichcha and Dvesha, they are because of that Dvaita Buddhi, because of that Dvandva Moha, the delusion created by that feeling of, that perception of duality. Ichcha Dvesha Samuthena. Samutha means that which is arising out of. Samuthena, that which is arising out of this raga and dvesha. Then Sarvabhutani Sammoham Yanti. Sarvabhutani, all beings, Sammoham Yanti means they get deluded. Moham Yanti. Sammoham is only an upasarga. Sam is only an upasarga, isn't it? Sam means fully. Sam is an upasarga which supports the dhatu's meaning. Moham, sammoha. Moha means delusion. Sammoha means extreme delusion. Extreme delusion. Yanti. Sarvabhutani yanti. Then where? Sarge. Sarge means from the very birth. Sarga actually means the origin. Sarga is say origin. So in the very time, right from the time of creation, that ajnanam is something which is anadi. That is another point which we have to note here. Ajnana is something which is anadi, but then it is santam, it is having an end. Ajnana can be overcome. Ajnana may be anadi, but it is santam, because by this Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana, if you apply your mind to this Shravana, Manana and all that, this ajnanam will disappear. So now the time is over, we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti